God sometimes chooses the most unlikely people for the most incredible tasks. Samson was one of those people. Before he was born, an angel told his parents he'd be a Nazarite, set apart for God, never to cut his hair. In return, God gave Samson a gift, unimaginable strength. He tore apart a lion with his bare hands, defeated 1,000 Philistines with a donkey's jawbone. His feats were legendary. Samson's power wasn't from training, it was a direct gift from God, as long as he honored his vow. He was Israel's champion, a living sign that God hadn't forgotten his people. But Samson's greatest battles weren't against armies, they were against his own impulses. He was strong on the outside, but his heart was vulnerable to temptation. His story reminds us, our greatest struggles are often within, not against the world, but in the choices we make every day. Samson's life was a billboard for God's power, but also a warning about the dangers of ignoring our weaknesses. Even the strongest can fall if they lose sight of their purpose. Samson's journey begins with strength, but it's his choices that shape his legacy. Enter Delilah. The Philistine rulers, desperate to defeat Samson, bribed her to uncover his secret. Delilah used charm, asking Samson again and again, "What makes you so strong?" Samson toyed with her, giving false answers. Fresh bowstrings, new ropes, weaving his hair into a loom. Each time Delilah tried, and each time Samson broke free. But the game was dangerous. Delilah's persistence wore him down. Samson knew she was working with his enemies, yet he stayed, overconfident in his strength. He underestimated temptation, and overestimated his ability to resist. The heart is a battlefield, and Samson was losing ground. Delilah's nagging became relentless, and Samson's resolve began to crumble. Sometimes the greatest threats come not from outside, but from those we trust. Samson was about to pay the price for letting his guard down. Delilah pressed Samson daily, her persistence finally breaking him. Exhausted, Samson revealed his secret. "If my hair is cut, I'll lose my strength." Delilah knew she had won. She lulled him to sleep, called in a man, and his hair was shaved. The Philistines attacked. Samson tried to fight, but his strength was gone. He didn't realize the Lord had left him until it was too late. The Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and chained him in prison. The mighty champion became a blind slave, grinding grain for his enemies. Samson's fall was complete, his strength, freedom, and purpose stripped away. He became a public spectacle, a warning of what happens when we betray our calling. The consequences of broken trust and misplaced love were devastating. Samson's story turned from triumph to tragedy in a single night. But even in defeat, his story wasn't over. Sometimes, it takes losing everything to remember what truly matters. In prison, blind and broken, Samson remembered God. As his hair grew, so did his faith. The Philistines brought him to their temple to mock him, not knowing his strength was returning. Placed between two pillars, Samson prayed, "Lord, remember me, strengthen me one last time." With a final surge of faith, he pushed the pillars apart. The temple collapsed, crushing the Philistine rulers and thousands inside. In his death, Samson achieved his greatest victory. His final act was not just of strength but of redemption. Samson's story is a reminder, even after failure, it's never too late to turn back to God. True strength comes not from muscle but from faith and humility. Like and subscribe for more inspiring content. Till next time, God bless.